'Cause I am searching, don't need to look outside myself to know that I am whole. And I've been learning, made it through the darkest storms, and I'm coming to my own. And I am worthy of love. I can learn to love myself just because.
Welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back for another episode. This is episode 4 of Real Talk with Emma and Dinah. We are having some difficulties with technology today, hence why you've got my face on the screen right now while Dinah figures out her sound. But I realized that while we're here, while I've got this moment with you, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for your patience, because as you all know, I was out of the country for a couple of weeks, mourning the passing of my mother. So that is why we weren't here last week, and that is why we're here on Tuesday, because I am severely jet lagged. But it's okay. When time keeps going, the mission keeps going, and I think that's one of the things that makes the timing of this particular episode so kind of perfect. Because, our guest today, I don't know if you know this, Dinah, but our guest today is somebody who speaks so dearly to my life, and all the messages that have come up in my life over the decades of being a musician, being an empowerment through songwriting coach. I'm really excited for our conversation with Dr. Robb. But first and foremost, how are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to see you.
Likewise. Yeah. I can't wait to give you a big hug in person.
I know.
It's going to be great. But, I think this is going to be, like I said, it's really cool to see you again. It's really cool after our week of hiatus to be met with such a phenomenal human that's out there doing such important work across, the world. He's from Manchester, United Kingdom. He now lives in, not Houston, San Antonio, which is, by the way, my favorite town in Texas. Yeah. Just FYI. But Dr. Robb Kelly, how are you, my friend? Drum roll, please.
Hey guys, how you doing? Good to see you. Awesome to see you.
Likewise. And I'm so grateful that you're able to make it, today, because obviously you were meant to be on one of our episodes last season, but you're a busy human doing busy save the world stuff, with all the plethora of businesses that you have, all the plethora of missions you have in the world. Can you give everybody who's watching, listening, tuning in a little bit of an overview of the man beneath the labels and behind the wonderful glasses?
Hey guys, my name's Dr. Robb Kelly over in San Antonio, Texas. I'm a PhD psychologist and a PhD behavioral scientist. I used to be an alcoholic, lost my children, homeless for many years, died twice on the streets in Manchester, England. And I swore that if I ever got off the streets, I'm going to spend the rest of my life helping people like me, and understanding that what we think about the brain and what we know is a minuscule. So we're kind of more neuroscientists than we are doctors at the Robb Kelly Group. And we've kind of, with 11,000 patients under our belt with a 98% success rate, we're quite aggressive with this stuff. I do what I love because I love what I do. I love helping people. So every day I'm a 10 out of 10. Every day I'm happy. And then I decided to open an English tea shop in San Antonio, and everybody says, "Are you crazy? This is Tex-Mex country." And we're 2 years in, and we're doing amazing. So yeah, we're living the dream, man. Because when we got into the neuroscience, we found that anybody can live the dream, and anybody can achieve what they want to achieve. And if you think that's not possible, somebody's put that
there. I love that, because one, T, yay. Second, you mentioned pies before we went live. So again, yay. Neuroscience, yay. Mindset, yay. These are all things that Dinah speaks to on a regular basis, and myself, obviously. I'm curious, what led you to living on the streets of or living and trying to exist in a world of alcoholism and obviously undergoing such deep trauma that I think many people unfortunately can relate to, myself included. What do you think was the moment that things kind of made you realize that everything comes back to the brain and everything comes back to decision and the labels we give ourselves? How did that come about for you? What was that journey?
Well, once we got into the neuroscience, we found out that the mind, the subconscious mind, kind of runs most days, and the conscious mind is there trying to take control. There's lots of things happen, so where the subconscious brain wakes us up. I was angry when I came off the streets that nobody could tell me what was wrong with me. Drinking for your children, and I knew there was something different. I'm an all in or I'm not bothered guy. I'm either all into something or don't touch it. So with the neuroscience, what we found was, excuse the pun, mind blowing. When we found out about the hypothalamus, the basal ganglia, the amygdala, how the mind actually works, we have software that changes the structure of the brains away from self-sabotage. So at the beginning, it was just drugs and alcohol I was working with. And then what happens, we found the program over the years as we tilted towards neuroscience. We work with entrepreneurs, podcasters, moms, dads, CEOs. I mean, it's broad. We changed with the pathways in the brain from negative to positive. So when we found out that over 300 neural pathways die every single day in the brain, my question was to everybody, what are you replacing them with? And 9 times out of 10, it was old patterns being repeated. So we're all in patterns. It goes back to childhood trauma. Everybody has childhood trauma. And if you don't think you have, it's probably the worst because the subconscious brain has blocked it off so you don't go insane. So we're still learning. We're still moving forward. We're NLP guys. We're subliminal messaging guy. We have software with BreathBox. I mean, I get to work with movie stars, musicians. I get to work with the FBI, CIA, government. I mean, we get to work with all these people that are boy from Manchester on the project. Shouldn't be seen. But I have a saying that you can't do this, Rob. Says who?
Yeah. The work that you do, I find, like you said, it's just mind blowing. And for me, I do, my thing is meditation. And I know that meditation really helps those neural pathways. And, there is a choice, like you said earlier, you can choose to be happy, but sometimes, people are stuck in their patterns, as you mentioned. So how can someone begin to rewire their thinking and their neural pathways if old habits feel so big?
Yeah, great question. It comes down to the basal ganglia, which is our repetition part of the brain. Like driving a car, you need so many hours before you can do it without thinking about it. And that's part of the basal ganglia. The more we do something, it becomes a working part of the brain. With old patterning and enmeshed behavior from parents or caregivers, most people think that they're never going to be blonde enough, tall enough, thin enough, or rich enough. I mean, we never feel enough. And when we get into a situation where we put ourselves forward, because now we're doing the great stuff, the imposter syndrome kicks in. So it's all about changing routines. We have 3 great things every morning we get all my patients to do. One is breath work, next is mirror work, and then next is teeth work. And people go, what the hell's that?
Yeah.
Well, we only breathe 45% of our lung capacity, and we're supposed to breathe 100. Like back in the day, we were hunting. Men used to go hunting. Today, we sit behind a computer, drive home, we don't do it. So the subconscious brain wakes us up because it loves hypoxic situations, and the conscious brain loves oxygen. It's got to get enough. So we do the 20 exaggerated breaths in and out. Now, all of a sudden, you'll go dizzy and all the cells of the body are being oxygenated like it's supposed to be. When you go in the bathroom, if you brush with your right, brush your teeth with the left for a week, right, left, right. So we're changing them patterns around every day. Stand in front of the mirror, stand 6 feet away and say, I love you 10 times in the mirror. Why is that important and why 6 feet away? Well, most of us, when we go close to the mirror, shaving guys or women makeup, we see all our blemishes. That's how we think people see us. When you stand 6 feet away, the blemishes disappear. Because let's face it, when's the last time you went in the office? Hey, Bill, good to see you. We don't do that.
Right.
We have that imagination that that's how people see us, and it's not how people see us. So you need to find your identity throughout this whole process and realize your worth. It all comes down to worth, guys. Out there, if you don't know your worth and identity, you're never going to live your best life, man. You're just not. I don't do no's, I don't do can'ts, I don't any of that. I'm 65 years old. I don't care what people think about me anymore. You know, and I live my life practicing that with other people, because I don't want people to do as good as me. I want people to do better than me. I want people to have the opportunities with the education that we've learned here at the Robb Kelly group to show people you can change from the inside out. I mean, you really can. And anybody can, unless you've got severe brain damage, anybody can do this. And I'll do this till the day I die, trying to convince people that A, you're enough, and B, you can change and do anything you want. Because what I would hate is for you to get to the age of 70 or 80, look back in your life and realize, A, there was nobody watching you, and B, you really could have done anything you wanted to do. Because that would haunt me.
Yeah.
Marry that girl, date that guy, buy that house. Let's go, guys. Let's go. We've got to do it today. We can't mess around.
I'm laughing because you say you've got severe brain damage, and of course you're talking to somebody who had severe brain damage, and you know, therefore I think that was a huge component as to why I found myself going down my own, you know, road of self-destruction when I was a teenager. But you know, even through my addictions, my various addictions as a teen and early 20-year-old, I found that, you know, that repeated trauma, the repeated messaging around me, the repeated, you know, same with my social group, et cetera, that obviously manifested more misery in many ways. However, I've discovered, especially now that I've been, you know, as I was researching my last book, Mental Health Sounds Like This, what you are talking about reminds me of the magic of pattern interruption, right? And the power of not just, you know, yes, looking at ourselves in the mirror and telling ourselves we love each other and we love ourselves, which nobody does that, but also recognizing that the messages, every message that enters into our brain, we have the opportunity and the ability to really reprogram, almost with cognitive behavioral therapy, I think, to, you know, help us reshift that mindset. Is there anything like in particular that you can advise any of our listeners or audience when it comes to like helping us sort of reshape that narrative that we sometimes struggle with?
Yeah, you have to go back and look at the childhood trauma, uncover, discover, discard that. Patterns, behavior patterns, verbal or body language, behavioral science-wise, we've got to look at that and realize what we programmed, how we've been programmed to act A or act B. I mean, you really need to go back, because you can break them cycles. I mean, that's easy. You know, it's not hard, but sticking with them new cycles and coming away is hard, because there are comfort zones that people like to be in, as painful as they may be.
Yeah.
So there's a girl in Manchester, 68, 69, I think the year was. She got kidnapped. They could never find her. Eventually, they found her 9 months later. This guy kidnapped her. They keep her in this huge box. They smashed the lock off, and he found the girl that went missing 9 months ago. She was 15, 16 years old. He used to take her out of the box, bath, restroom, shower, abuse, all that crazy stuff. And when they opened the box, there was a girl. She was alive. She was bruised and battered. And the policewoman went over the box, and she helped this girl step out this box. She took her police coat off and she wrapped it around the girl. What's the first thing the girl did? She got back in the box. That's what we do in life. It's more familiar in this painful place. So I'm not going to try and change my life, because what if? And then the fear takes over based on the trauma in the past. And we don't like fear. And most of our brains freeze when it comes to fear. We'd rather stay where we are. But life is on the other side of the comfort zone. Life is on the other side of taking that chance. What's the worst thing can happen? I used to tell myself that what's the worst can happen? I signed a Dallas office in medical building in Dallas, Texas for $1 million, I think, over 20 years. My guys were like, how do you sleep at nighttime, Rob? And I'm like, what's the worst can happen? They're going to take the office off me. Can't take my birthday off me. They can't take Christmas off me. I'll get another office. Stop worrying about these little tiny things, because before you know what day is, you're going to be 70 years old and realize that you've been living in fear all your life, or you've been living how others want you to live. Oh, you can't do that, Rob. Don't be so stupid. You know, don't be. No, it's not true. Nobody will ever, listen carefully, guys, the haters and people around you, no one ever will criticize or put you down that's doing as good as you or better. It's only the people beneath you. You see, everybody's jealous about what I have. I know that. But nobody's jealous how I got here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm looking at our theme for today, and it's rewiring the brain and healing the soul. And it feels like once we are able to get past those blocks or those obstacles, there's great compassion that's within ourselves. And that compassion can help us move beyond the fears. And so I feel like, when it comes to risk taking, it's very difficult for the mind to wrap itself. Like you said, the person got back into that box.
Yeah.
If you want to take the next step, what would you say to somebody? It's easy. It's like the conversation can be made to move beyond, but to actually do that, reaching in and finding the compassion for ourselves. It's very hard to connect with sometimes.
Yeah, and that comes down to identity and worth.
Yeah.
Would you believe? So identity stripped off us many a times. Remember, guys at home throwing footballs in the street. England used to kick a ball. Johnny, what do you want to be? I want to be a footballer. What about you, Billy? I want to be a doctor. What happened to them dreams? They were kicked out of us by our family and friends. Don't be stupid, Robert. You can't go to college like your brother. You're not clever enough. So once we lose the identity and the drive to where we're really supposed to be, there's nothing you can do. When I go out to restaurants, every single time, when the bill comes, I call the waitress over and I hold the bill up and I point at the tip line and I say, what am I putting there? I mean, it's usually 15%. What's your worth? How much have I put? And there's silence. And then when I repeat again, what's your worth? There's tears. Yeah. And eventually we get whatever they say, I'm going to put down. But that's how people live. We don't know our worth. People call me all of the time, ladies, and go, hey, Dr. Robb, I'm opening a practice. How much should I charge an hour? And my answer is always the same. How much are you worth an hour? Is your time valuable? Are you saving lives every day? Is this a passion? Because I'm telling you, any business, and believe me, I have multi-million-dollar businesses. Okay, if you're chasing the money, it ain't gonna happen. If you're chasing the healing of people and you truly believe that you can heal people, and we're chosen, guys, by the way, we're not just randomly gone through this stuff. We've chosen to do this, and we're brave enough to stand up despite everything. When I came over here 20 years ago, they stripped me of my license to practice. It took me 6 months to get it back. I lecture to those guys today. Find your identity, find your power, and find your confidence. You were put here for a reason, guys. Yeah. We're not just, you were chosen. If you've gone through the stuff that we've been through or that I've been through, you don't come through the other side and go, okay, what next? Because go drink, Rob. If you're not going to do anything with this journey, with this life you've been given, with the wealth, with all this stuff I've been given, I can only spend so much money. Let's give the rest away. What am I going to do? Okay, I have one daughter that got in contact after 30 years. And obviously she's going to get along. What am I going to do? Yeah, just $5,000 in the safe at work. We say this to the girls. After a month, if that $5,000 is still in the safe, I'm taking that out of your wages. In other words, give it away. Find somebody who needs it. $5,000 in somebody's hand can change a life. And we got that sat there for 6 months, girls? No, we're not playing that game. Come on.
I love that. You're reminding me back when I was a teenager and really struggling with, the depth of my depression and the depth of my struggle for self-worth. I remember thinking to myself late one night when I couldn't even begin to tell you how low I was. I remember feeling hearing a voice, or my inner thoughts thinking, asking myself, you haven't overcome 10 brain surgeries, 24 surgeries in total to just give up, right? Like, you have made it through so much trauma in your life to just throw in the towel. And I think that was one of the kind of pivotal moments in my own personal life that has helped me get to the place that I'm at right now when it comes to showing up and helping other people who are struggling, which kind of, like, it's one of the reasons why I love following you on social media, Dr. Robb. You know, you are somebody who, you know, is unapologetic about your story. You are unapologetic about your giving. You're unapologetic about how joyful and, you know, just how unapologetic you are, really.
Yeah.
There are so many people out there, however, that are still kind of, you know, nervous and about breaking that fear, about breaking out of that comfort zone, about really showing up for themselves. Because I think it takes a lot of guts, right, to really be courageous and unapologetic about who we are. So my question is, do you have any pointers on how people might be able to make some fun out of, I don't know, showing up? Or, you know, how does one even begin to give themselves permission to step out of their comfort zone, to, you know, to be the red person in a sea of black, to be, you know, to be a little bit different and celebrate. I used to say, I wave my fruit flag proudly. How do we encourage everybody to do that without, you know, shrinking back, or dare I say it, you know, returning to substance abuse, etc.?
I got to tell you something, guys. I want to say, guys, I'm talking to the people watching this. Nobody's watching you. Nobody cares about us. People got their own stuff going on every day. So when we go into a room and we close the door behind us and it's loud and people look over, they're in a circle. They're not talking about you guys. Nobody cares. You know, we've got our own stuff going on. So why is, I know it's hard, guys. And I sit here and flippantly say these things because I know you can do it. I'm not flippantly, oh, it's easy. Why aren't you? No, it takes courage to step out of the comfort zone. You know, it takes real courage. But every single day, do something different. Every single day, push yourself further. I don't know, silly things like if you go in an elevator at work or talk, hey guys, nice day, it's a beautiful day today. Just start there. Or speak to somebody, make 3 new friends every day. Come out of yourself. You have more power than you think you have. And and this is number one. Number one, hang around the people you want to be. If you're hanging around 9 depressed people and you want to break to be amazing, you're not going to do it. You'll be going to cut the 10th depressed person. Hang around the people that you want to be. Follow the guys on social media that you can talk to, not the guys up there that don't speak to anybody. What use are they? Speak to these people and get involved, man. Just get involved and believe. Believe that what you're going through now is temporary. It's not going to last forever. It feels like it. Like if you're a mom now in a 1-bedroom broken apartment, you've got 3 kids and the husband's a deadbeat and he's left you alone. This is the starting point. You're at a crossroads. I love people at crossroads. This is where you start taking a stance of realizing who you are and you will fight for them kids. I tell guys, including myself, after 30 years, fight for your kids. If the kids are taken off you for whatever ailment or disease or illness or addiction, fight for them kids. Never give up. For 30 years, I sent little cards and little teddy bears to my 2 daughters back home, and my mom put them away. She never gave it to them because my wife threatened to never see the grandchildren. When my mom and dad died, and my daughter is about 3 years ago, she's now back in my life and my lead therapist, and also introduced to my granddaughter. When she was looking through the house, throwing things away, she found a huge chest in the corner. When she opened up, there was every card, every teddy bear that I'd ever sent. That's a man. Stand up and be somebody. Don't ever think for a second that your little tiny, forward is not going to make a difference. In fact, try this for me. Next time you're in a Build-A-Bear, it's how much power you've got, guys. Next time you're in a Build-A-Bear with people, watch somebody coming toward you with sneakers. All right? Nice sneakers. Say 2 words. Nice sneakers. Nice sneakers. Oh, thank you, man. Turn around and watch him. He's going to look down at his sneakers 2 or 3 times. You've just changed his world. But guess what? He's going to go on to the wife or girlfriend because he's in a good mood, mirroring part of the brain. Now she's in a great mood. Then the mother-in-law calls, and you get the gist. We're changing people every day. By doing that, we're changing ourselves. Think outside the box. If you are going to work every day and it's horrible, get a new job. If you're going home to your partner every night and you're walking on eggshells, get a new partner. It's not really that easy. It really is that easy. Stop letting these people complicate. You're going to have to get a... So what? Life is too short, man, to be sat there in fear, in pain. And we've all been there. The homelessness, the living from paycheck to paycheck. I get all that, guys. But you have to be strong and brave. And what you'll find is this, that your horrible life, your pain, your torture becomes your greatest asset going forward. Because I don't care who you are, one day it's going to sit down with you and someone's going, yeah, Dr. Rob, what do you know? You've never been homeless, check. You've never died on the street, check. You never lost your children, check. It's all checked, man. And that's why we do it. It's not you go through some bad luck. It's like you're being educated. But if you believe in God, Uncle Jimmy, universe, I don't care what it is, but it has been shown that the mind, which is energy, when it connects to another energy outside the body and you work on neural pathway changes, your DNA changes. Yeah. Which means I'm not the same person as I used to be.
I love that.
Boom!
No, it's cool because it reminds me of why I was busking. You know, it was one of the things that when I first moved to DC, I was a full-time street performer for 5.5 years. Sorry to interrupt you, Dinah. But I just you're speaking my language. My whole mission every single morning was to get up and make someone smile, because you never know what kind of impact that's going to have on their lives. You never know how that's going to turn into the butterfly effect. You know, how that's going to turn into them being nicer to their employees or to their wife or to their children or to whoever. I love it. Say it louder for the people in the back.
And it's music. Music is that great segue. I know when I was playing professionally, I played at Abbey Road for 2-3 years. So I played with Queen, Elton John, Bowie, all them guys in my day. So music has always been behind. I cannot be in a house without music on. That's just the way it is. And I think, people think music is good and they dance to it. Music has a deeper meaning, especially two chord songs. What it does is it completes your vibration and your energy. When you go to church, guys, if you go, I don't, I believe God's here, not in a building somewhere. But if you go to church and the praise band comes on, it's not for dancing and singing. It's to get the vibration ready in your body to receive the message. And basically what that is with the vibration is it's closing down the subconscious brain and opening up the conscious brain so you can take all that in and make it come true. So music is amazing. I love your life, Emma. I watch you vigorously and just in the back of my heart going, God, if we'd have lived closer, we could have been married by now.
Well, calm down. My husband has said something about that.
Your husband is awesome, by the way. He's amazing.
Yes, I do plan to come and visit your tea shop for sure.
Oh, you too, yeah, that'd be awesome. My wife would love to have you guys over.
Yeah.
It's going to complete the loop when it comes to the vibration of music in general. Like I play sound bowls and various instruments that help regulate the nervous system and bring that homeostasis back into the body so that the body remembers how to be happy and how to heal and how to move. And there's certain frequency, like I like to talk to my clients about certain frequencies that help elevate us. So if we're trying to maybe be in a creative flow, right? We can play something like a 528 that taps into the heart center, into the solar plexus. If we really need to concentrate and study, it's like a 432. So these vibrations and these frequencies really they tap into the neurons in our brain that just shift that energy. And I think energetically too, where you're talking about, allowing our mind to disrupt the pattern. And if we can find different ways, like I'm going to, talk about meditation again or sound, these are just little tools that we can use to help disrupt the pattern of the mind and drop into that, the left and the right mind and start to understand, how we can tap into the more creative part of us, that more intuitive and heart-centered part, and break away from the primordial part of ourselves that keep us in the looped patterns. And so when we start to understand the brain, it's incredible what we can do to help shift ourselves.
And heal.
Yeah, and heal, exactly.
Yeah, there's only two things that happen. Detoxification is one of them. What we're being poisoned what we can't methylate. But when we go back to sound bowls and frequencies, 425 is what we use on breath boxing with the subliminal messaging. Guys, have you ever been anywhere and a song's come on the radio and it's took you straight back to that beach with that girl on that day in that car? It's the same thing with the sound bowls and the frequencies, is you find a place that's good for you, and you can recall that vibration anytime you want to recall it. And I love what you do, Dinah, because it's so important that people understand this, because talk therapy is great. The new stuff that's coming out now with us is amazing, but you've got to look at the frequencies and you've got to look at the vibrations. Once you get in that side, I mean, I do. People say, you know, do you go to the gym? No, I don't go to the gym. I do yoga, I do meditation with different frequencies, and I do breath box, which is our software with frequencies in. I do them 3. You know, that's all I do. I don't go to any gym. I don't watch what I do them 3, and it keeps me focused and centered. And I think we're coming away from that stuff now in 2025. Is that was okay then, but no, it's not. It's like the gut feeling. People think we've come away from the gut feeling. It's just, gut feelings go back to the tribal days. When somebody in the tribe got a gut feeling, it meant 2 things. Something great's going to happen, but usually there was danger near. So you either get ready to fight or you run. It's the same thing today, guys, but we don't take any notice. So what's that gut feeling tied to? Well, 4 chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. The 4 chemicals that I need to be happy and successful. But the major neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, are created in the stomach. That's why we need this stuff.
Yeah.
I really love that. I think that the more we come into the body, because there's so much distraction is out there in the world, right? But when we come into the body, we start to understand, like, what is it that we need? And when we're talking about energy, you know, the question that I always ask myself is, does this energy serve me? You know? Yeah. And so, like, for you, Dr. Robb, like, what is your definition of living a meaningful life?
Well, with me, you know, people say if you calm the mind, you calm the body. It's totally different. You calm the body, you'll calm the mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and that's really important. The definition today is living my best life. For me, I'm staying in tune with God and doing His work and following His direction, helping people every single day, either monetary or time and stuff like that. And I really mean it. If I can save a life, you see, we turn down 20 podcasts a month because if you do a Google search, guys listening to this, you know, we have a big name. We're in with all, you know, but Courtney goes out and finds people that are changing the world. And then she comes to you and says, can Dr. Robb come on the program? Because if we're not changing the world, what the hell are we doing, guys? I'm not in here to sell stuff. I come on, really? I'm here because we know that you 2 girls are powerful, and between 3 of us, at least one life's going to change. That's me paid in full, guys. That's a job done today. And now we all have torment. We have this stuff going on. We had a crazy patient today, and everyone was in array with it. But at the end of the day, you got to stay true to yourself and realize that you have the power to help another human being, and you might be the only person that day that see you, whatever you say to them makes an effect. I've heard people going at home and committing all sorts of, you know, unalive themselves. But imagine if you were the last person who spoke to and you uplifted them, that we should be doing every day. There's a great story I tell when I do my conferences. Guys go to the Golden Gate Bridge, throws himself off, commits suicide. When the police pull him out, they find the ID, they go back to the apartment looking for the next of kin. When they're looking, they found a letter on the kitchen table. It read, I'm going to walk to the Golden Gate Bridge, which was an hour's walk, by the way. I'm going to throw myself off and commit suicide unless on the way there, somebody says hi, good morning, nods at me, waves, smiles at me. I'll stop right there. My question to the audience is always this. How many people have you walked past today who's heading to the Golden Gate Bridge?
Yeah.
So you never know. That little, you think you sat in the corner all meek and that one, nice sneakers. Hey, good morning. You don't know what effect, and you'll never know, but you have to believe that's the power we have on other people. We can affect other people that way.
I know it. I know that in the core of my being. And I'm like, it's one of the reasons why I'm so honored to be able to host this podcast with Dinah and have guests like yourself, Dr. Robb, because, you know, to your you know, you're speaking everything to me as if it's just you and I having a cup of tea, right? Like this is never truer words have been spoken, and I really, I'm looking at the time, and I again wish that we had a bajillion more hours to talk about this. I feel like Dinah and I are going to have to come up to San Antonio, you know, make some magic, and you know, say one breath at a time. I'm saving the world one song at a time. Here we are, you know, with our powers combined, we are saving the world. And I really honor you and your work, and I'm so excited and honored and grateful that you are not just showing up every day in your world, but also, you know, showing up in other people's realms and social media, and just making such a beautiful and powerful impact. Now, obviously, for everybody who's watching who wants to know more about you, Dr. Robb Kelly, I believe.
Yeah. So if you listening, not watching, or vice versa, it's ROBBKLY, two B's. Jump on there. There's lots of fun going on there. You'll find a book on there called Daddy, Daddy, Please Stop Drinking. It's the last thing my daughter said to me. Don't go on Amazon, buy it. Just send me a message or email on the page. Mention the show. I'll send you a copy. If you're in the US, some parts of Canada we can, obviously, but I'll sign a copy for you, and away it goes. But listen, before I go, I want to say this. If you're in that place we just talked about, if you're in that lonely place where you haven't got anybody, if you're dying of alcoholism, addiction, depression, if you're that person we spoke about, 214-600-0210 is my personal cell phone number. Please text me first. I'm very busy, as you can imagine. I'll text you back almost immediately, and we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to arrange a 20 or 30-minute talk between me and you that will change your world. And you know, if it doesn't, I'll send you $100 for wasting your time. You say, we're either in this, guys, or we're not. We're either there for each other or we're not. I answer the phone all the time at the office. Who am I not to give my stuff away free? Who am I not to help somebody if I can? And people say, you're crazy, doctor, I'm giving you personal phone number. You think I care about crazy where I've been? Because I would rather spend 20 minutes with you than hear of your suicide next week.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for your aroha, your wairoa, just your energy and your spirit. Really, really grateful. And of course, we will keep that phone number in the show notes for anybody who is watching or wants to go online and re-listen to this episode of Real Talk with Emma G and Dinah. Until next week, friends, please be good, be kind, spread love like it's going out of fashion, because if we're not careful, it will. And remember, you're worthy.
Cause I am searching, don't need to look outside myself to know that I am whole. And I've been learning, made it through the darkest storms, and I'm coming to my own. And I am worthy of love. I can learn to love myself just because.